Can't tell if I'm live or not. I think I'm live. Hi, everyone. It's 11:59. We have one more minute. Let's get everything set up here. How's everyone doing today? All right. Click on just getting some things set up. Hopefully, everyone is having a great day today. I forgot that TikTok did not let me go live. It's not one thing, it's another, y'all. It's not one thing, it's another. Okay, hold on one second. Okay, let's get this party started. Hi, everyone. If this is your first time seeing me, my name is Kimberly. Sorry, I'm setting up TikTok because it won't let me record. So you're going to see me looking side to side. Welcome, everyone. My name is Kimberly Hess. I am your favorite cultural anthropologist and empowerment coach. I'm the founder of Sweet Like Honey Coaching, and I started Sweet Like Honey Coaching because I wanted people to be able to live their lives, as the title says, sweet like honey. I think so many of us go through life and we do all the right things, right? We finish school, we get the job, we get married or have the partner, the nice home, the nice car, the kids, the dog, whatever. And then I believe all of us at some point in our lives, we hit a point. If you have sat down and just really thought about your life and what you're here for, I think most of us, particularly as we get to a certain age and we've achieved things, and then we start looking around at the world like, something isn't matching up, something isn't making sense, right? Because I talk to so many people in my work life and in my friends, my family, strangers in doctors' offices. And as the Buddha says, everyone is suffering. And so when I talk to people, I'm very, very easily aware of the suffering of others, right? I'm a very empathic person. I'm very sensitive. And so it is probably, I don't know if it is a superpower. I didn't think it was a superpower for a long time, but it's a superpower for me to hone in on the suffering of people. And so this brings me to the topic of today about taking care of yourself, right? I was in the doctor's, I had a doctor's appointment today, and the nurse that was prepping me before my nurse practitioner came in, I guess it wasn't a doctor's appointment, it was a nurse practitioner appointment. And the first nurse who was doing the blood pressure and, checking all my stuff, um, she was singing. Oh, what song was she singing? It wasn't "Lovely Day" by Bill Withers, but it was a song kind of in that genre. And part of the song was everything will be all right, or everything will be good. Now it's gonna kill me not to remember that song. And I heard the song. I heard her like humming it, and I was like, "Ooh, that's a good song for today." And she said, "Yeah, I've had a week." And because I am who I am, and I was sufficiently filled up and overflowing with the rest, and my nervous system was calm, I asked her what was going on with your week. And then she proceeded to tell me very, very challenge, very, very like the trauma that she told me. And for her, it was just like, oh, X, Y, and Z happened. And for me, I was like, oh my god, like when I tell you like the trauma that she told me, and I think it's the trauma that I hear in people every day that they don't assume is trauma. They don't assume is something that they need to sit with because it's a big deal. They're just like, "Oh, it is what it is." And when I expressed that to her, I was like, "Oh my goodness, that's awful. That's horrible. How do you feel? That's so traumatic." She was actually, I think, maybe thrown off a little bit because someone was actually assessing the situation and caring about her. And so we got on this, and basically I was at, and she proceeded to tell me some more things that were going on in her life. And I was asking her, how do you take care of yourself? Right. And this is something that I wanted to talk to all of you about. How do you take care of yourself when you're in the thick of trauma, or when everything's going well, that's fine. But when you're in the thick of trauma, when you have a lot of anxiety about the world around you, about world events, about world governments or local government, um, laws that are changing. I mean, people being picked up and kidnapped off the streets, um, medical. Oh my goodness! Like even talking about it, I'm like, our world. I've said this so many times to all of you that it literally feels like the world is crashing and burning around us, which I believe it is. And so, as I was talking to my nurse today, and as I was just kind of reflecting on what's going on in the world, I started reflecting on this business that I have created to share with others, Sweet Like Honey Coaching, right? And in the beginning, I was like, I don't want to do anything serious. I had been completely burned out from consulting. But the reason why I started coaching was because I saw the exhaustion and the burnout of women of color, particularly Black women. Um, and there were things as a consultant that I couldn't say to them that I wanted to say to them, and this is why I started coaching, so I could be vulnerable with them, with my clients. I could tell them a different perspective. I could give them love and nurture and support, which is something that was a bit difficult in the consulting world, right? Because I'm supposed to be this button up consultant, you know, talking about anthropology and diversity. Um, so anyway, getting back to the Sweet Like Honey coaching, it is starting to morph as I see the world change around us, right? As I see instability, as I see despair, as I see people just so uh just taking in the trauma of others, not even counting the trauma of themselves. And when I say this, it's typically women. And to be honest, like that's who I talk to the most. But I feel like women, we are the ones that are typically more concerned about others. I'm not saying that men are not concerned about others. I just happen to see it more in women, the nurturing, the caretaking. And because of this, I see so many women in states of depression, anxiety, myself included, um, fatigue, restlessness. And so when I ask women, how are you taking care of yourself? And y'all remember, as I'm talking to you, I'm talking to me, right? When I ask, how are you taking care of yourself? 9 times out of 10, I met with a very blank stare or someone saying, I'm not, right? I have a few women that are like, oh, um, I work out, I make pastries, I do yoga, I do breath work, right? But for the most part, we as women are not taking care of ourselves sufficiently to be able to interact with the world the way it is, right? Myself included. I had to take the week off last week because I was dealing with some mental health issues because of everything I'm telling you. And that's why I was like, wow, this would be a great time to talk about taking care of yourself. And I would like to model that. Like I took off doing lives because I needed to pour into myself before I could pour into you all. And this is what I was telling my nurse today who has children. I said, and she said, I just keep going, because of my kids, right? And oh, I really should take care of myself because of my kids. And I said, yes. And you should also be taking care of yourself for you. You deserve to have a peaceful life. You deserve to be happy. You deserve to not be exhausted, to have some joy. And I said, how do you do that? And she's like, I don't. Right. And so me being me, I was like, look me up so I can give you a session. And this is why. And also for any of you watching out there, if you would like a session, please let me know. I do online coaching for these lives, right? So instead of just hearing me talk, we can have you come on and I can coach you directly for free. And or go ahead and email me, and then we can do some free coaching, which will be recorded and bits taken out so others can also benefit. Now, if you don't want to do free coaching, that's fine. You can just go ahead and book. But if you do want some free coaching that will be able to benefit not only yourself but others, let's do it. Um, I just feel so many of us are suffering, maybe in silence, maybe not in silence, but so many people are like, what do we do? What do we do? How do we do this? So let me share some tools that I find helpful, and hopefully, just take what you want. The old folks say, eat the meat, throw away the bones, right? Which means take what you can that pertains to you, that resonates with you, throw away anything that doesn't, or maybe something that you'll want to try later. So the first thing is stop performing wellness and start prioritizing yourself. Um, what I have found, particularly in my consulting business, that many high achieving women are doing self care like a checklist, and this is what I do. I'm like, let's habit stack. Like, and the more first thing I'm going to do is drink warm water with lemon, and then after that I'm going to do yoga, and then after that I'm going to go for a walk, and blah blah blah. And for me, it was a check. It still is. It's a checklist, right? Have I done this? Have I done that? Have I done my breath work? Have I done my meditation? I invite you, as I am inviting myself to do this as well, is not to do things as a checklist, right? But do things for your healing. Do things that are going to soften your heart. Do things that are going to have you breathe a little deeper throughout the day, right? Um, Less performative and less, this is good for me. This is something that I get to do, right? And like I said, for me, it was definitely a checklist. Like, did I do this? Did I do this? But I was treating it as like a work list instead of a Kimberly feel good list. Oh, maybe we should institute that. Maybe we should have a list um, of things that just make us feel good and do that, right? Whether that be breath work, whether that be yoga, whether that be taking a walk, sitting in the grass, reading a book, journaling, like things that fill you up, things that are just for you, that are going to fill that cup up. And for me, I was doing all of these things because I was like, oh, this is what I do to heal, right? This is what healing looks like. Doing 30 minutes of meditation a day, doing some stretching, doing affirmations, and all of that is wonderful, absolutely wonderful. And are you doing a checklist of healing, or are you actually healing? Are you actually spending time when you meditate to honor yourself, right? When you take time to pray, are you filling yourself up with that talking to your higher power or your higher self. So think about that. Are you performing healing, or are you actually doing nurturing things that will heal not only your nervous system and your physical and your breathing and respiratory, but also your soul, right? All of the mind body connection, all of those things are so intertwined. And I said mind body connection, I guess it would be mind body soul connection. So no more checklist. I mean, checklists are fine, but no more checklist as far as, okay, I took out the trash, I meditated, I did laundry, I did yoga. No, 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 no. This is going to be a separate checklist that's going to fuel you, right? And heal you in your own terms. There's no itinerary for healing. Healing can be for months or it could be forever. I myself believe that healing is a continuing, ongoing process. And you know how people say enjoy the journey? Healing is a journey, it's not a destination. And on that journey, make it be great. Like think about it as a road trip. It's not about going from New York to California and you only care about the destination of California. No, you want to enjoy the road trip, the food that you see, the hotels, the cool people that you meet, the bars that you hang out in, the libraries and museums that you go to as you're winding yourself across the country. That's what healing is. Healing isn't about just getting to California and be like, I'm all healed. What next? Healing happens as you go. And if you're someone like me, healing is something that you will be doing your entire life, not because you're broken and something is wrong with you, but because you are ascending and elevating as a person. All right. Woo! Let's talk about this. Radical self care begins with disrupting people pleasing, choosing what restores your nervous system, not your ego. So once again, are you healing to help yourself, or are you healing because that's what you feel like you have to do for the world, right? And a lot of times for the world, we will please everyone else without pleasing ourselves, right? Like a lot of women I talk to are like, oh, I have kids, I got to take care of them. Oh, I have a partner, I have to take care of them. Oh, I have aging parents, I have to take care of them. Yes, you do. And hear me out. What would it feel like to put yourself at the top of that list? Because if you put yourself at the top of that list, when I tell you the trickle down effect, that everyone in your life will see that and they will be happier and they will be easier to deal with. A quick example of the trickle down effect: I was checking out of said doctor's appointment, and I had to wait a little bit, and the receptionist, fine when it was finally my turn, she turned to me and I could tell she was like, tired, probably a little flustered with her morning already. And I was upbeat. I was happy. Thank you. Called her sweetie because I'm in my crone era. I'm either going to call you honey, honeybee, sweetie. You all my honeybees, because it's a form of kindness that I just want to give, because I remember in my younger days having older women, particularly older Black women, call me honey or sweetie, even today. And I melt. And I'm like, oh, because it feels like a hug. So I do that too. So I, said, thank you, sweetie. Have a good day. And she was like, oh, thanks. And I heard her address the next person so much more upbeat. I mean, it was like night and day, because the way she addressed me, I could tell she was tired. But how I interacted with her, once again, the trickle down effect, because I felt really good today. I've gotten rest. I've taken care of myself, physically, mentally, spiritually. So my cup was overflowing, so I could give that to other people. And so I shared that with her as well as with my nurse. And the way that she turned to the next person and was, hi, how can I help you? And I was like, oh my goodness. So you are more powerful than you think. Instead of just giving, 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 to others, you have to give to yourself. So when it is time to give to others, you can give them your best. You can give them the overflow. You can give them all the goodness, instead of, how you have a glass and you're dying of thirst and there's just a little bit of water. That's you. That girl, that sis, that's you. Right? You're that little bit of water trying just to get a sip out of it. What I'm saying is fill your cup so that it's overflowing, so that your cup is never dry, so that you're never thirsty. I don't know, it's kind of a weird tangent that I went off on, but you get my drift. And that honestly means saying no to people more and saying yes to yourself more, right? So other people, you got to say no. You got, what did Cat Williams say about Diddy? When Diddy wants to party, you got to tell him no. Act like everybody is Diddy. I cracked myself up. Act like everyone else is Diddy. Oh, can you make cookies for the PTA tomorrow? No, thank you. Nope. Can you work in an extra shift? Because I want to get my nails done. No, no, I work 6 days in a row. No, thank you. I'm going to sit home and watch Netflix tomorrow. Actually, you don't even have to tell them that. You just, no is a complete sentence. Can you can you pick me up? I got to do this. No, I can't. Find someone else to do it. It's okay. You don't have to say no every time, or you can, but you also don't have to say yes every time. And I feel like women are culturally conditioned to be people pleasing, to always say yes. And so this is what I offer to you. No, say no to other people more, say yes to yourself more. Okay. So let's see. I'm just looking at the notes I wrote. I already talked about the empty cup. One more thing about having that empty cup, honor it without having shame. A lot of us, and when I say a lot of us, I mean me, and I'm sure some of you out there can agree with me. A lot of us, when we are tired, when we are having some mental health challenges, when we are exhausted or burnt out, that comes with a lot of shame, right? To say, oh, I want to take the day off, or not, I need to take the day off, or I really want to stop working at 6 o'clock, but there's other people that work with me and I don't want to seem like I'm not a team player. Like whatever that situation is. Sometimes there's a lot of shame connected with us having an empty cup. And when I say empty cup, that could mean anything. It could be a physical ailment, mental health. It could just be you're tired, right? You didn't get a good sleep last night. It could be because you're burnt out and exhausted with whatever is going on in your life, whether that's family, whether that's work, whether that's uh, illness, chronic illnesses or diseases, your health. Sometimes we feel guilty about not being 100%. And so once again, the woman I talked to today, I told her, you do not have to be superwoman. In fact, I was saying it's probably, we were talking about her kids specifically. I said, being a mother and being able to be vulnerable with your children, to say, hey, mommy isn't feeling the best today. I'm not going to cook, forge for yourself or have someone else cook or take out, or say, mommy hasn't been feeling well lately and I just want to let you know what's going on with me. It's not your fault. And this is whatever age, whether the kid is 2 or 20, or 40, right? It's letting people around you know that you would like some support. It's okay to be vulnerable, right? It is not okay to have shame. That's like so low on the vibrational scale. And typically, that shame is something that society and culture has put on ourselves. And then we put it back on ourselves. Um, Shame and guilt, this is what I tell people all the time, is a useless emotion, right? I'm not saying we don't have it, And I'm not saying that it's not normal to have feelings of guilt or shame. I'm just saying that that emotion gets you nowhere. It gets all of us nowhere. Like having a ton of shame isn't going to fulfill your dreams and your goals. Being guilty all the time about something isn't going to make you a more enlightened being. So get rid of the guilt, get rid of the shame, acknowledge it, sit in it for a while, forgive where forgiveness needs to be done, apologize where it needs to be done. But we have got to move on from guilt and shame, particularly if you are a woman who is just not at the energy level that you have been in the past. And I also want you to acknowledge that this world is at a very crazy crossroads. So for you not to have the energy that you had a year ago or maybe before COVID. I mean, 2020, I don't think this world has been the same since 2020, right? And I talk to this with others and they feel the same. So if you are someone who's out there that's like, "Oh, I wish I could work harder like I used to," or "I wish I wasn't so tired," or "Why am I not more involved?" Sweetie, sit down. Just sit down. Take care of yourself. I think I mentioned this, I guess it wasn't last week, but the week before, or maybe I was telling a friend or a client. I forget because I talk a lot. I talk a lot into a lot of people. But I was saying that we cannot we cannot change the world until we change ourselves, right? And maybe this is something that I was thinking about for myself. As much as I want to heal the world, which is why I created Sweet Like Honey Coaching, I want people, like I said, to get rid of the guilt, to get rid of the shame, to live their dreams, right? To accomplish their goals, to be happy. I I often ask people, are you happy? And we sit down and we discuss that. And if you're not happy, why? And how can we get there? Not saying that you're going to get to happiness on one coaching call with me. Maybe I am pretty magical. I am pretty magical. And once again, just like that journey, sometimes I wonder if happiness also is not a destination, just like, New York to California, but it's this journey of life, right? Because what if you figured out the meaning of life, you did the journey from New York to California, you did this journey, and now you have the meaning of life, you're happy. Now what? Now what? There's still a journey. Now you got to live with this happiness. Now you got to live with knowing the meaning of life. I honestly believe the meaning of life is living a happy, well lived, wonderful, joyous, juicy life, right? That doesn't always mean getting the corner office. That rarely means making $1 million. That rarely means another certification, another degree, another plaque. Because on your deathbed, you're probably not going to be like, "Oh, I wish I would have gotten that certification," right? You'd probably be like, "Oh, I'm so glad that I had the 4th of July party with my friends and family." Or, "Oh, I'm so glad that I have nurtured these beautiful relationships in my life." Or the work that I have done in this world has made a tremendous impact on people. Not millions of people, maybe not even hundreds, but on people, right? I think living a good life is living life with intention and happiness, and that is success. We have definitely been taught by capitalism and patriarchy that success just means domination, right? Conquering, money, power, when maybe life is just living a good life, like waking up happy and excited for the day ahead. And whether that excitement means, you're going to go ring the bell on the NASDAQ New York trading, floor. I'm kind of making stuff up now. You can tell I'm not a trader. Um, it could be something big and grandiose, or it could be, you know, picking the vegetables out of the garden that you planted. Life is yours to live, not anyone else's. And I find a lot of times that we don't take care of ourselves because we are living our lives for other people, right? We're not living our lives for ourselves. Because if we were living our lives for ourselves, then we would realize that we are the most important person in our life, right? Even if you have a partner or spouse, even if you have children, even if you have loved ones and friends that you care deeply for, I am I will stand on this that you have to put yourself first. Because if you don't, you will end up disintegrating and not being able to help anybody, right? So if you have kids, especially if you're a mother, um, if you don't put yourself first, you will suffer the consequences later, right? And I'm talking to everyone, but specifically women, and very, very specifically Black women, right? You will end up paying the consequences later, whether that's in your health, your mental well being and health, your life. And when did it become so bad to put ourselves first, particularly if you are someone that gives, that nurtures, that takes care of others? Ladies, we have to take care of ourselves. And that doesn't mean necessarily mean an expensive vacation or a massage or spa day, even though those are amazing. If someone wants to give me a massage, I much appreciate it. But it can also, and it could also mean, like, the getting your nails done, getting your hair done, because I believe when we look our best, oftentimes we feel our best. But sometimes it could just be sitting outside in nature, taking a walk, buying an ice cream cone, like when you were a kid, coloring in a coloring book. Like, what can we do for ourselves today, this week, this month? Happy July 1st, to take care of ourselves, to nurture ourselves. That might mean taking a bath and going to bed early. That might mean doing deep somatic stretching before bed so we can sleep well. That might be drinking your favorite cup of tea before everyone else in the house gets up. When I talk about taking care of yourself and putting yourself first, I always mean making yourself the best that you can be, right? And oftentimes those things are free. Silence. Whoo, y'all, when I tell you, sometimes sitting in silence will fill me up more than anything else, because our world is so fast and so busy. So try that. So just try sitting, just taking time with ourselves. I also think a lot of times that we don't take care of ourselves is because then we hear our inner thoughts, right? We hear the things that we know are beneficial to us. Like, I will literally fight going to bed when I'm tired, like a toddler. Like a toddler. So why am I scrolling on TikTok when my body, my mind, my eyes, TikTok even is like, can you put the phone down and go to bed? Like a toddler. Like, I feel like I'm going to miss something. This is taking care of, this is an example of not taking care of yourself. But for me, this is an example of, if I had a young child, I would lovingly put them to bed. I wouldn't keep them up reading them books or playing, right? Which is kind of what I'm doing. Let's stay up, let's stay up. So, what are little ways that are free? That are free. You don't, like I said, you don't have to go on an expensive retreat or expensive vacation. Those are beautiful and those are lovely. And if you have the means, please, please, please do that. Please, please, please do that. Um, and if not, have your own retreat. Make your own smoothie. You know, do a put a yoga video on YouTube or listen to some sound bowls. Like there's so many ways that we can regulate our nervous systems, that we can take care of ourselves, that we can show ourselves how much love and care that we need and deserve. All right. Ooh, time is up and look at me. Uh just talking because I am so passionate about this that I want people to take care of themselves. That's everyone, men, women, black, white, Asian, Latino, Native American, all the ethnicities, all the nationalities, all the religions. I just need you all to take care of yourself if you're not already doing that. There are some people that are really good at this. I would say most of us aren't, because taking time for yourself is not something that's really prized in our American society, in our American culture, unless there's a price tag to it, right? But we have definitely commodified self-care and self-love. And I'm saying it doesn't cost anything to say, you know what, Kimberly, insert your name. You know what, your name, I'm going to take care of myself today. I am going to do something nice for myself, right? I am going to be able to receive instead of giving so much, which is the next point on my list, is that it is okay to receive and not to give all the time. And I wrote this on my list because I have such a problem with receiving. For my birthday, I had two dear girlfriends and my sister give me a birthday gift, and like a cash gift, and they were like, buy something nice, and I was like, oh, I'm fine, blah blah blah. And then I was realizing, why am I having such a hard time receiving? Because this was love that my friends and my sister were giving me. And for me to not receive that, for me not to think that I was worthy of their love, it really started to make me think. So when I say this to you: be able to receive. If someone buys you a coffee, thank you. If someone gives you a compliment, thank you. If someone is like, let me treat you to lunch, thank you. Just say thank you and receive it fully. And when you're filled up, one day you'll pay it forward, or you'll pay it back to the person that was so kind to you. I mean, and it doesn't even have to be something that they paid for. It could be someone calling you to check in on you. It could be someone saying, hey, I haven't heard from you in a while, how are you doing? Someone sending you like a funny gift. Like, just receive the love that the people around you are giving you. It could be someone holding the door open for you. Thank you. Receive it. When I say that abundance is all around, and being a reformed people pleaser, if you're still listening, you probably were too, because we're no longer people pleasing, reformed. It's very difficult for people who are people pleasers, who say yes to everyone, who want other people to feel good. It's very hard for us to receive that same kindness. So I am here to tell you, another way of taking care of yourself is to receive all the love and goodness that people are giving you, because it's everywhere. Once you kind of open yourself up to it, you will see how in a day, how much love and kindness that there is in the world, even if it's not in your exact world. If you just go on social media, and sometimes I'll just see a post, and underneath it the comments are all so positive, so loving, so juicy and good, so supportive, and I'm like, that's taking care of yourself, right? To be able to receive loving kindness, whether it's in words, in gifts, in thoughts, emotions. Because if you give that to other people and they deserve it, why don't you deserve the same thing? I'll tell you why. You do deserve the same thing. All right. Hi, my friends on TikTok. I'm sorry. I feel like I'm ignoring you because I'm looking over here, but I got you, and I love you. I love you. Thank you for the likes. Okay. You know what? I think I'm going to end up there. I think I like ending on, you're allowed to receive, not just give. So, first of all, let's think about, just kind of to wrap up, let's think about not performing wellness, but to actually do wellness to heal, right? Wellness isn't a checklist. It's not just a checklist. It's about your healing, it's about your nurturing, it's about how you can feel good about yourself. And then the next thing we talked about was honoring your empty cup without shame. Shame and guilt, what did we say? Shame and guilt is what? A useless emotion. It's a useless emotion. Thanks, Alicia. It is a useless emotion. Move past the shame and guilt and move forward. That's a fantastic way to take care of yourself. Even forgiving yourself is such an amazing way to take care of yourself, right? That was the second point that I made. And then the third point was learn how to receive. Thank you. Thank you. If someone's like, can I don't know, give me an example, folks. I'll go with the coffee. I'm going to go get some coffee. Can I buy you a cup? It's on me. Just say yes. Just to see how it feels. Because you know what? That person that offered, it makes them feel good. Just like I know when you give gifts, it feels good when someone's like, "Oh, thank you so much. I love this birthday gift." Or when you pick up dinner, someone's like, "Oh, thank you so much. You're amazing." That feels good to you. So let someone else feel good. It is okay to receive. It is okay to receive. It's okay to give. It's actually great to give. But I want you, honeybee, I want your cup to be so full. Like this is the cup and I'm just pouring. This is you taking care of yourself. This picture is you take this invisible picture of delicious, clean, mineral filled water that's going to make you healthy and beautiful and your hair grow long and your skin clear and your brain synapses firing. Here's this pitcher of water, which is you taking care of yourself. And this is you. And I'm pouring taking care of yourself into you, right? This is what you're doing every day. I want your cup overflowing with goodness for yourself every day. All right. Any questions? Go ahead and leave them in the chat. Feel free to email me. Let's see. You can email me at KimberlyHessAnthropologist@gmail.com. Thank you all my people on TikTok, feel free to DM me. I am here to help. So if you have a question, if you'd like some online free coaching to come on with me Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday at noon, let's do that. It'll be fun. Okay, I love you all. Have a great day. And what are we going to do today? We're going to take care of ourselves. I'm going to take a bath today. Leave in the comments what you're going to do today, because we all need to take even more care of ourselves during difficult times. So if that means taking a nap, if that means closing your eyes for 10 minutes, if that means laying on the floor in between laundry and cooking dinner and helping your kids with the homework, let's go, because you deserve it, honeybee. Okay. I love you. Take care, everyone. And I will see you tomorrow.